There's just one thing left to do. I'm moving into a new place. What's up, everybody? That was Shama singing High Low Jack. I don't know if you have listened to High Low Jack. If you're familiar with the band Lawrence, so Clyde Lawrence has a side project called High Low Jack on YouTube. Good songs. I just pressed record. It is Tuesday, February 24th, and I know, off the top, I know I missed a week. I know. Real quick, let me just see when I'm in my home office, by the way. Did I say home office? I still haven't moved. I am in the corner of my wife and I's bedroom. We've evicted our newest son, who's going to be 2 months old in a couple days. We kicked him out. He's in a room with his sibling, and so I just have the corner now. But yeah, okay. Last episode was February 5th with Isaac Hallsworth, White Food. That was episode 11. Man, I'm so sorry, guys. I've had a kind of a chaotic month here, for the better. So that was like 3 weeks ago. Well, what is that? I don't know. It's been 20 days. I've been everywhere. So that weekend, I think I said you guys were going to Colorado. I went to Denver. I had a show in Pueblo. Who is that? I hear somebody walking. My family's supposed to be going on a play date. They better be going on a play date. I don't want them listening to me embarrass myself recording a solo podcast. Flew to Denver, drove 2 hours to Pueblo, Colorado. That was like a nice event. I had to like completely regroup because the event had white tablecloths and it was a fundraiser with like a silent auction. And I just had to pivot. I had to pivot on the fly and be like, okay, how can I be a part of this event and make it enjoyable for everybody without completely bombing or I don't know. But anyways, I had a great set. That was a good time. Flew home. I was home for a couple days. Did I do open mics? I think I went to some open mics that week. That was fun. And then flew to Nashville, got on the bus, met with my manager. Shouts out to Annie. Annie, if you're listening to this podcast, I'm sorry. I had this thought the other day. I typed it up to put it on my story, but I didn't. But essentially, I'm working hard this year because I want my manager to recoup all the faith she has in me. I'm a comedian, so there's not like I didn't get an advance in terms of nobody wrote me a check. The advance is faith. The advance is encouragement. and I hope my manager, her investment pays off. This year it might though. So then flew to Nashville, got on the bus with Johnny W. and his wife and Ed Wiley and who else? Tour manager Jordan and promoter rep and an NGO rep, and we had a great time. We went up north. That was the first weekend of live and laughing comedy tour with this one's headlined by the Johnny W. Really, really fun. We drove up to Hagerstown, Maryland, and we were there that Thursday, and then we went to Okay, I gotta get this right. I said Severn because that's how it looks, but it's Severn, 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 Maryland. And then we went to Sewell, New Jersey, and then we finished it off on Sunday in Dover, Delaware. It was a really, really fun tour. Ed Wiley went up. He did 20. I went up, did 30. And then a little intermission there. Compassion speaker. Shout out to Nate Tasker, who was out with us. And then Mr. Johnny W. himself. Also, it should have been Eddie W. and Johnny W. I don't know if Ed, also they both needed to guest on the show. That we just had so much time. We had so much fun yapping that we never took a break to record our yapping. But just an incredible time. Like every yap that we had should have been recorded. It was such an incredible time. I like completely, not that I forgot, but I just remembered, I just love comedy. I love people who also love comedy. It just, I don't know, it just makes for such a great time. Memorable things on the tour. Our bus driver, Mr. Ronnie. I called him Randy once. He did not like that. Think of the type of guy named Ronnie who drives a bus. That's exactly what he looked like. He was a great guy. We were like, hey, who else have you driven for? And he was like, she's George Jones, Dolly Parton, Vince Gill. Like, we were thinking, I don't know. He just listed some heavyweights. Dolly Parton, the freaking shaking hands with a guy who drove for Dolly Parton. I'm practically royalty. That's why I didn't do the show. I was like, I've peaked. I'm telling jokes at churches driven by the same man who drove Dolly Parton. It's all downhill from there. No, the tour was an absolute blast. And so this is my second bus tour. Usually a lot of people just do one-offs, planes, which that's what I do a lot solo. Years past, I used to go out with my buddy Tony and my buddy Chase. Just two guys, two backpacks, two rolling cases, flight, Atlanta, another flight, land, rental car, venue, we go maybe restaurant, venue, hotel, sleep, wake up, airport, flight, Atlanta, change planes, flight back to Greenville. That's usually what it was. And so by that time, it's a late night. It's the mechanics of it don't really make for a fun hang. But the tour bussing with the boys, it's fun because it's secluded. Like you just have this like a dope spot, and it's cramped, but it's not like a bad cramped. It's like a good. It's like being at your poor friend's 1-bedroom apartment. Oh my goodness, that's the best way to describe it. Yeah. Think of your friend, the first friend who got their own place. And it's tiny. That's how me and my brother, when we were in college, we were like, let's get our own apartment. It was a 1-bedroom apartment. My bed was the futon in the living room. Come to think of it, my brother and I could have just shared a room. Wow. This is like 10, 12 years too late. I'm like, we could have just shared a room. We could have shared the one room. But my brother, for some odd reason, big dogged me. My older brother, he was like, nah, I get the room. You sleep in the living room. And we would have friends come over because we were like the first friends with a place. So people would come over and like sometimes they'd be over while I was there. Other times they would be at the house when I wasn't there. I was working. And so I'd get off work and I'd come to the house and I'd be like, yo, I'm glad y'all are here, but y'all do have to get off of my bed because I got to convert that couch back into a bed. I got to convert that futon. And that's a transformer. I got to let that sucker transform into my place of rest where I lay my head. Anyways, I wasn't that much of a stick in the mud. Where did that phrase come from? I'm going to Google that. Stick in the mud. But anyways, that was really fun. So that's what touring is like. It's just, you just get to just ample time with people most of those days. So the first night when we got on the bus, we hung out and talked till like 2 a.m. That was Wednesday night. Woke up in Hagerstown, Maryland. We woke up at like, 10, 11. You're on a completely different schedule. It feels like freaking vacation. It's like island time. So we woke up, sat on the bus, ate whatever we had on the bus, yogurt or something. And then, and a Keurig. Shout out to Keurig. Listen. Everybody craps on Keurigs. I'm not above a K-cup. I'm not above that. I'm not above that at all. Keurig saved my butt multiple times. A Keurig saved my life. That should be merch. But everybody wants to. Now, granted, I get it. There are some guys who, they got the pour over kit in like a hard shell case, and they take it out, and it takes them 15 minutes to set up, and then you get the coffee and then whatever. But brother, sometimes I just want to be. I'm trying to. I'm groggy. I just washed my face in the tiny bus bathroom, and I'm trying to hit that. Is that I'm doing sound effects this episode. I'm trying to hit that. I'm trying to get 12 ounces of mediocre freaking whatever, the breakfast blend. Or dude, those titles are nuts. That's what I'm trying to get. And that's what I got. So hung out, we'd walk. We usually were parked outside the church by that time. So then we would walk into the church and then, get set up or whatever. We had a runner or a driver, usually a volunteer from the church, drive us to a hotel where we would shower or whatnot. You can shower on the bus, but I don't know if people are down with that water. But some churches that we were at this weekend, I think like 2 or 3 of the churches had showers there. So that was a fun time just walking in, and you didn't really have to go anywhere. Our tour manager, we would order, he would send us just a menu from a restaurant. We would pick what we wanted, and then it'd be brought and we would eat it. It was a blast. Showtime was at 7 p.m. Fun show. It was electric. And that's not me patting myself on the back. It was just I think we all started off on the bus on Wednesday. We're like, hey, what is this show going to be like? What should we do? We thought of different formats, but then we kind of settled on, hey, let's just try this format. And, guys, it worked. It worked from night one. So that was really, really fun. So that was Wednesday, then Maryland, New Jersey, Delaware, Sunday. Oh, fun. So when we got to Delaware, so those were like 2-hour drives from like Maryland to New Jersey, 2-hour drives. So we would sleep on the bus in the parking lot of the church, like hobos. Is that a slur? I don't know. The unhoused. We would sleep the unhoused. We were bussed. We were not unbussed. We'd sleep at the church, and then we'd the tour bus driver would get there at like 7 a.m. or something, and then he would take us to the another church. So we'd get there at like 9 or 10 or something. But when we got to Delaware, I heard somebody talking on the bus, and they're like, "Yo, Delaware, tax-free state. So if you want to buy something, that's where the place to do it." And I had promised my kids, hey, I'm gonna get a Nintendo Switch. And this is not because I caved. Listen, morale in our house, obedience was low. Especially with the new baby. People were testing my patience, especially my son. And my son was like, I just want a Nintendo Switch. And I, a couple times I was like, we're never getting a Nintendo Switch. You will never get. And so finally, after a drop off at co-op that should have gone better, my son came back home, and he didn't drive home. He didn't walk home. We picked him up. After we picked him up, we took him back home, and I went, hey son, I'm gonna get a Nintendo Switch. And he was like, okay, when? And I went, when I come back from my trip. And I had no plan, by the way. I just was like, I don't know, I'm gonna figure it out. And so I found one. Well, when we got to Delaware, and I heard, hey, tax-free state. We got to the church, and I was like, hey, I need a runner to take me to Best Buy that's 2 miles away immediately. So somebody drove me there, picked up a tax-free Nintendo Switch. Hey, felt good. It felt good. Now, granted, did I have to leave a couple of shirts behind? Yeah. To make room for the Switch? Yeah. But worth it. Tax-free, baby. Hey, Uncle Sam, you can rot in a ditch. I was thinking of other things to say. You know what I wanted to say, but you also know I'm not there yet. I'm working my way up to cussing. If you're listening to this show, I'm working my way up. If you're like, man, I really wish this dude would cuss, don't worry. I'm building up the courage. I'm baby stepping myself into cussing. What I wanted to say was Uncle Sam can, I'm not even going to say that. I'm not ready. This is episode 12, maybe episode 20. Maybe that's when I drop something like that. But got the Nintendo Switch, and then we were done in Delaware. The show started at 6 because it was a Sunday. I don't know why we started at 6. And then they had like a 15 hour drive back to Nashville, but I wasn't going to be able to be on that drive because I had to be in Nashville very early the next morning for guys. Oh, I didn't even talk about this. I'm working on a podcast. No, I'm not, but there is a team that's working on a podcast that they brought me in to co-host, and they are legit some of my favorite people, some of my favorite creatives. And that podcast, we recorded 4 episodes that Monday and that Tuesday, last week's the February 16th and 17th, and that podcast will launch on Easter Sunday. So hey, I went from 0 podcasts to now almost 2 podcasts. For the record, that podcast was in development by the time I started this one. This was just like a Shama side project, if you will. But that one, I'm co-hosting and also helping kind of develop that a little bit. That's light work, but there's a really, really great team behind it. Great production. That podcast, let me just say, that podcast is it's incredible guests. Not that I have not had incredible guests, by the way. I've had incredible guests. We've had incredible guests, but that podcast, it's guests that they get radio play. They're Christian, they're CCM famous. And so the podcast is called Grown Up Church Kids. They have an Instagram page called Grown Up Church Kids. It's just fun, man. It's just going to be so much fun. So they have not announced anything yet. As of right now, the page is almost just like this reminiscing. They just post pictures of people when they were young in church. And but when that comes out, I think it's going to be such a great time. So check it out. Check that out. Support everybody working on that. It's going to be so much fun. And then so I had to, instead of riding on the bus back to Nashville because I had to be there early, they dropped me off at the hotel in DC there. So the bus pulled up to the hotel, which was cool. And then I got out, went to the room. They dropped me off at like midnight. Of course I didn't sleep on the bus. I was yapping because everybody was yapping. And so yapped, said goodbye to everybody. Yo, I gotta leave. Hey, I will maybe see you guys in Nashville. I was only contracted for the one weekend, but I think they're going out many weekends the rest of the year. So I hopefully will be back out with them at some point in time. And then I slept for like 3 hours. Dude, I don't know if you've ever done this, but also I understand like most people don't travel as much as I do, but dude, sleeping in a hotel for 3 hours you should get a discount. There is no way, buddy. I'm not showering. I'm not even, this might be gross. Most times I'm not even brushing my teeth. That's how much time is ticking that I'm like, golly, I got, it's miserable. Anyways, I think I did brush my teeth that time. I brushed my teeth, and then I also use this app called Freedom. Highly recommend, by the way. It's a really good app. It's like a VPN blocking app. So you can go into the app and then set like, hey, block Instagram, Reddit, YouTube. Like that's my block list. Those are my addictions. Instagram, Reddit, YouTube, Twitter, all of that stuff. So you could block it for like an hour at a time. Facebook, hour at a time, 2 hours at a time. You could block it all day. You could do that. So I do that. That's been an actual lifesaver for me since the beginning of the year. I think I've gotten so much done just because I'll grayscale my phone, so make my phone black and white, and then I'll turn on that content blocker, and then oh, buddy, you should see me. I'm like a crackhead without crack, fiending. I open up my phone. I'm like, I could look at an email. Oh, yeah. Social media is addicting, but it's been good. Especially if I'm checking into a hotel and I'm like, I have to sleep. And if I do not block freaking Instagram or Reddit or whatever, I will just scroll for like an hour. And so that's been really great because I'm trying to read the Bible. I'm trying to listen to the Bible. I'm trying to cultivate boredom. That's what I told my wife the other day. I'm trying to cultivate this mindset of creativity and thinking, and I can't do that if I'm just ingesting. So that was good. Flew to Nashville very early the next morning. I saw some merch in the DC airport there that said the Reagan International Airport. Reagan, what is it? What was it called? Wait, what is it called? Hold on. I can't remember. Anyways, it said DC versus everybody. That's what the merch said. And I was like, not right now, buddy. It's DC versus everybody, and DC is losing. That was wild merch to see. DC versus everybody. I'm like, right now, it should be pedophiles versus everybody. Oh, man. Golly. Pedophiles and baby eaters versus everybody. Man, look, let's listen. That's not what the show's about, but we are in, I'm tired of, I don't know about you, but I'm tired of living in unprecedented times. I need some precedented times back in this thing. I told you I cannot listen, you know what's up. I'm trying to be a good Christian boy, but I need some precedented times up in this sucker. You mind my French. And so that was last Monday and Tuesday, recorded all day. Dude, the setup, once again, that podcast is going to be incredible, by the way. I cannot stress that enough. It's going to look great. It's the vision is like the Tonight Show meets Tiny Desk. So it's like interviews, and they have these covers by these artists, or some of the artists are singing their own original songs. I'm not a part of that, but my co-host is, and it's just gonna be a blast. Like you guys are just in for a treat. And I really listen. Most times when people say you're in for a treat, you're not. You're not. They are lying. You're not in for a treat. But when I say it, I need to stress that you really are in for a treat. GCK. Check that out. And then after that, finished up that Tuesday. I was just by myself at the hotel. It's I FaceTimed my family. I fired up the Nintendo Switch and played Mario Kart. Sad. It's a sad. It was not fun. The duality of man. Everything at your fingertips. Difficult to enjoy it. Right. Like. I'm just me in a nice hotel room with a Switch, my iPad, my phone. I picked up some Hattie B's. I'm drinking Diet Coke, and I'm just like, I need to be home. I need to be with my family. That's how I felt. Like, what am I doing here? I'm freaking losing at 50cc on the Nintendo Switch. on Mario Kart. Can you freaking me, a 33-year-old man getting waxed at the lowest speed on Mario Kart? Pray for me. And then, so I slept, woke up, and then I took a lift to B&A, the Nashville airport, and I flew to Austin. I should have just flown home, guys. I really should have just flown home. But I was invited to Torrin Wells' live album recording there, and I'd never been to a live album recording, and y'all know already, Torrin Wells is my boy, and I love supporting Torrin Wells. And I've co-written for him twice. Me and my buddy PD have for the Dove Awards. And so when he invited me, when I say he, I think some schlub at Capitol, his label, not a schlub, a nice person at Capitol was like, you know who needs to be a part of this event? Shama. And so I flew to Austin that morning. Ran into a bunch of people from the airport. I think a bunch of us from Nashville were on that flight. Southwest. I'm a Southwest guy this year. I don't know if y'all mess with Southwest like that, but Southwest is kind of the move. They're kind of the move right now, guys. All my homies are flying Southwest. Anyways, yeah, we went to the hotel, hung out with my boy Ron Starling. That was a really good time, dude. Ron killed me. He said we went out to we went out and got matcha. Ron's one of those. He's one of those black dudes. He freaking baggy pants, sackcloth bag. You know what I mean? Like he did. Hey, bro, just carry a backpack, bro. You don't gotta do that freaking. He just looks like a. I don't get it, bro. It's the end of the day. Hey, your pants are so baggy, bro. The bottoms of them are just muddy. Pant legs so wide, they're dragging under your pants, man. You look like you're wearing your older brother's hand-me-downs. I'm kidding. I'm not gonna roast Ron like that. Ron is such good people. Ron has also been nothing but nice to me. So we went and got matcha. I'm a matcha man now. Matcha man. I am gonna be a matcha man. And so after that, we went and got some lunch. Went to a sushi joint. That was really fun. Dude, Ron said something so funny to me. It was me, Ron, and John Diggs, another Christian influencer / creator, fashion guy. We were talking about something, and at one point I'd said, yeah, well, I'm 33. And Ron goes, all right, come on, Jesus. Oh, man, I've never been more angry at somebody in my life. All right, come on, Jesus. All right, Jesus. All right, Jesus. I should have crucified him. Anyway, hey, you're listening to Shallow. I'm winding down here. Hey, real quick, let me circle back. Stick in the mud is an idiom describing a person who is old-fashioned, unprogressive, boring, or unwilling to try new activities and change, and often used as a mild insult. It refers to someone who lacks a sense of adventure or is set in their ways. All right, AI overview. All right, AI. Anyways, I don't even remember what the context was. I just remember that I Googled that. Live album recording of the freaking Here Comes the Church. Absolutely insane. Absolutely incredible. I met a bunch of production guys from the Elevation team who I've been following for a long time and really, really admired their work. And I got to meet them backstage, and golly, I was more excited to meet them than any other artist in that whole venue. That was at Austin City Limits Moody Theater. Just a really, really great time. And I'm saying that, man, I'm getting like goosebumps. It was. I don't listen. If you know me and you know the caliber of cynical that I am, you know I don't throw around the word anointed a lot. I don't like to, but it was a really, really anointed, powerful night from start to finish. Now, and once again, this is something that I've wrestled with a lot because they're like the lights and the stage and production, and you know it costs a lot of money, and people paid tickets, paid for the tickets and da-da-da-da. And I think in New York, instead of saying da-da-da or, this, that, and the third, people up north in New York will say woo, woo, woo. This, that, woo, woo, woo. That's funny. That's what I should have said. So anyways, there is all that and woo, woo, woo. And, but either way, that like, even with all that, because listen, some of the greatest live albums that have impacted me, one of the greatest is Lift Him Up by Ron Kenoly. Let me make sure this is Lift Him Up with Ron Kenoly. Dude, that album came out in 1992. My dad kept this on absolute loop all the time. And so it's produced by Integrity Music. Man, I'm going to link that in the show notes of this episode in the description. Please check it out. And this also clearly, big production here, like the bass player at 22 minutes. Bro, he's on this wireless bass. Oh, ooh, come on now. I'm listening to it right now. I was listening to it just for a bit. I can't believe I jumped in and really legit 29 minute 29, the dude's just going ham. So clearly a big choir, big production. And so I think somewhere along the way, watching that VHS, listening to that CD with my dad growing up, there was like somewhere after that, I was kind of like, freaking people shouldn't spend money. We should just be worshiping in a half circle in a backyard like the old church, which is okay. That's fine. I think there's a place for that. But I also think there's a place for, I'm getting deep now. Boo, boo. I need you to know that I hate how I'm talking right now, because this is not what this podcast is about. I need you to know that there's some self-loathing going on, that I'm yapping the way I'm yapping right now. But, yeah. So knowing that how impactful this album and these songs were to me, and knowing that, somebody had to invest some time and energy and effort and some money into this, but it has this dude, the song Anointing Fall on Me, anointing fall on me, let the power of the Holy Ghost. Anyways, that's what it felt like, and I cannot stress enough that I really do mean the comparison that I'm making here is that the one at Ron Kenoly's Lift 'Em Up official concert video by Integrity Music on YouTube. That's what it felt like. It felt like being a part of a moment. Torrin is so talented, and the people that he gathered together, Holvey came out, Israel Houghton came out, who else? Todd Galbraith, Tiffany Hudson from Elevation, Red Rocks Worship, like everybody came out for one song each. Tasha Cobbs, Leonard, like she came. It was incredible. It was really, really incredible. And that's what it felt like. It felt like, oh, I'm a part of a moment that is not just a moment. Like I'm a part of a moment that's being captured and will be part of a lot of people's moments, if that makes sense. Like, and that's cool. What a blessing. Like I said, when I woke up to fly to Austin that Wednesday, I was like, I should have just flown home. But I'm glad that I went, and I apologized profusely to my wife for being out for a week, and leaving her with 4 kids. But it was special. It was really special. And Austin, weird city. That city, woof. Hey, they're like, oh, keep Austin weird. Like I don't think at this point you even need to try. Anyways, recap of my past couple of weeks. Happy Valentine's Day to you all. I love ya. No, I'm stupid. Who am I? Mel Robbins? Who am I? I don't love y'all. I don't understand why y'all are even listening to this. How about that? I don't understand you guys at all. But yeah, I'm chilling. I'm around this week. Maybe, I don't know. I need to get a guest this week. Maybe next week. I'm around next week, and then next Saturday. Well, Friday I'm up in West Virginia, Clarksburg, West Virginia, at an event up there. And then after that, the next day I drive to Louisville, Kentucky for the first night of the Mount Zion tour with Josiah Queen. Sheesh. Ton of dates on that. I'm not going to link them. I'm not on the poster. I'm a part of that event the same way anybody else is a part of that event. I'm just happy to be able to serve and support JQ. But if we're at any of those dates, if any of those cities and you or listener are cool enough and you're like, hey, I think I can come to that. I don't know. Let me know if you're going to be there. Be fun to meet some of y'all. All 10 of y'all. All 10 of y'all who listen to this show. Yeah, that's that. I'm good. Did stand up last night. 3 spots last night. That was really fun. I need to tell more jokes this week, and then more jokes next week, and then keep building and growing and working on my craft. Yeah. I'm having fun. This year has been off to a great start. I've been on stage a bunch. I feel comfortable. I feel great. I feel funny. I will say that trying to be who would have thought that trying to be funny would be so depressing. Dude, nothing has lifted and broken my spirit more than trying to be funny. This is really a roller coaster of a life to be honest. Let me stress this enough. I cannot stress how much I do not recommend a career in comedy. Please, if you think you're funny, just get an accounting degree, okay? You can make your clients laugh and get paid. No, it's like, dude, just stressing over, these jokes and, 30 minutes and crafting that and whatnot. And, just ideating on something. My wife tells people I'm really serious about being silly. And I'm like, I have to be. This is my life. Look at this. I built this, all of this house, this existence, the rent, brick by brick, joke by joke. Instagram reel by Instagram reel, where I made $8 a month that came in today. Oh, I saw Ren Collective last week on Friday. They played Greenville. Really, really fun time. They played Greenville the same night as Winter Jam. Tough. But I'm pretty sure they sold out that venue. I was supporting them. I posted on Instagram. I'm like, yo, I'm not. Listen. If you live in Greenville, do not go to Winter Jam. Go support the boys. Shout out to Eli Gable. He was in town too. He guested on. He opened up the show. Yeah, somebody reposted like a story of Eli singing, and someone's like, man, that boy singing like the Renza do. And buddy, can he sing? Super talented. And Ren Collective too. Ren Collective's just they them boys. Cannot recommend enough. I think they're doing a bunch of dates this year, so please go check them out. And yeah, man, yeah. Glad to be home. I'm like home for, I don't know, 2.5 weeks or something. So it's good. It's good to be home. It's really good to be home. And then trying to make the most of this. I need to take my kids bowling. We had a blast bowling. I think in December I took the oldest 3 bowling. If the baby could bowl, I'd take him too. But he wasn't born yet. But the oldest 3, I took them bowling. That's a good time. We love bowling. And I'm going to take them bowling again. They don't know that yet. I'm going to surprise them and go, hey, daddy's going to take you bowling. And we going to have, you remember last time you had so much fun bowling? I'm going to take you bowling again. And I hope you have just as much fun bowling again. Hey, thankful for y'all. Sorry I couldn't record the past couple of weeks. That's on me. Y'all deserve better. I really did. I guys, for the record, I really did set up the microphones and my camera. I was going to do a video podcast with Ed and Eddie W and Johnny W, and just didn't happen. It just didn't happen. I set it up really, and then we just got to yapping and talking, and people came and went, and then we ate and showered at the church and da-da-da-da and woo, and then time was up and I just had to pack everything up. I wish I would have happened, but no, it's been fun, and I'll be back next week with some updates. I think I'm going to try to get a bunch of guests on while I'm out with Josiah Queen. Since that's a longer tour, this weekend the weekend I did with Johnny and Ed, that was like a sleepover, and so we were like, let's hang out all the time and talk all the time and laugh all the time, and the Josiah Queen tour though, that's summer camp, so I think we're gonna pace ourselves. I think we're gonna pace ourselves on that one. Either way, I'll try to keep you all updated on that. Goodbye. When is Easter? I'm yapping about Easter. I don't even know when Easter is. U.S. holidays. Palm Sunday is March 29th. Okay, Easter Sunday is April 5th. Let me add this in my calendar. First episode of GCK. Boom. We learned a lot. You learned about the new project I'm doing. You learned about the tour. We learned what Stick in the Mud is. And most importantly, I kept it shallow just for y'all. just for y'all. I even did that southern accent that I was not going to acknowledge at all for no reason. I might do a whole episode just like that. And in that episode where I do a redneck accent the whole episode, in that one, I'm a cuss. Bye.